Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2 coming to you with another Garage Gun Talk. I always enjoy making these because I love our discussions and all the things that we talk about and getting all of your input on certain things. And today's video is a follow-up to yesterday's video. Now, if you remember, the word of the day, or the word that pays, was good, because I was a good boy yesterday when I went to one of my local big box stores. Saw a couple guns, and I was like, I'm really interested in that. And I passed on them. I said, you know what? Now's not the time. Now's not the time. I didn't really get anything for Christmas because we didn't really do Christmas too much. We just wanted to spend time with family. In fact, tonight we're going to take our boys to Topgolf. You guys know what Topgolf is. But anyway, I really didn't get anything for myself for Christmas. Didn't get any gifts. And I was still a good boy yesterday. But as I'm sure you can tell from what's on the table, that may have changed. And it might have changed because of you guys. So one of the things I will sometimes do when I see something I want, especially a firearm, I believe in fate and destiny. And I talked about that in a recent video. If it's meant to be, it will be meant to be. And if I go back to look at it later, if it's still there, it might be meant to be. Well, my wife was like, well, I want to go take a look at some bath bombs and some soaps and things, because it's a big box store. They have a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll go over, while you're doing that, I'll go over and take a look at the guns. And lo and behold, the two things I was looking at, plus a third thing, which I did not get, was there. I'll talk about the third thing in just a second. But I ended up getting both. Yeah. I was like, one of them I thought was way too good of a deal to pass up. And let's start with that one. I told you about it yesterday. The Glock 40. A Glock 40. I have never owned a pistol in 10 millimeter, ever. I have reviewed them, and the caliber has grown on me. But I was like, if I'm going to own a gun in 10 millimeter, it needs to be the right gun. It needs to be the right gun for me. And by that, I mean, I don't want something that's too small. I know somebody in the comment section yesterday said, oh, go get yourself a 10 millimeter 1911. It's way better than a Glock 40. And I get that. But, it kind of reminds me of that 1911 owner's meme where it's just like you buy a gun, you're all happy. You paid way too much for 100-year-old technology. Then you realize it doesn't work like you expected to. And then you end up selling it and getting less money back for it, and you're happy again. Well, I was like, I want something. If I'm going to have a 10 millimeter handgun, I want it to be big. I have reviewed the Glock 20. I think it was a Gen 2. I believe that was on loan to the channel from Jack. And I liked it. And I've reviewed some other 10 millimeters, some 1911s and things. But I was like, I want something big. It's a powerful cartridge. And the Glock 40 always kind of fit that bill. And it's I guess I'll say a competition or long slide version of the Glock 20. And I always felt like Glock was trolling people with the Glock 40 because, in the past, the nomenclature of what a Glock 40 is was different than what it is now, in that, people would call the Model 22 or 23 something chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. They would call it a Glock 40. And so you would think that Glock would come out with a pistol when they got to Model 40, chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson, but nope, they didn't. It's in 10 millimeter, which is still a 40 caliber projectile, but it's not 40 Smith & Wesson. So I picked up this. Here it is. The Glock 40 Generation 4 MOS. So it does have the milled out slide. The thing about the Gen 4 I'm not a big fan of, I never felt like their finishes were that nice. It's kind of a dark gray, which I know can scratch a little bit easier. But they had two of these. They had one that was brand new, and they had one that was used, or in the used section. And then obviously the one that was brand new was pushing $700, okay? A lot of money for what it is. And I was like, I'm not going to spend that much money for that. But then they had this one over here in the used section for $250 less, a considerable amount of money less for a Glock. And I was kind of looking at it through the glass, and I'm like, okay, that looks pretty darn well taken care of. I mean, some things you look for in a Glock to know how many rounds it really has, been shot through it, is you can take a look at the barrel hood. A lot of times you'll get some discoloration and some wear on the front of the barrel hood up here, more than just from just racking the slide. You'll get some scratches here occasionally. The other thing you want to look for is the little smiley faces on the barrel. So I asked the guy at the shop, I said, hey, can I see that? So he took it out of the case and dropped the magazine. It looks like it has been fired once or twice, and he does say that all of the used guns do get test fired on their range to make sure that they function, which is good. So obviously the gun has been fired to make sure it worked. But everything in these magazines, like it comes with 3, and the other 2 are literally brand new. I mean, there's not a mark on it. These things I don't even think a round has been loaded in them. The followers are perfect. This one looks like it's been fired once or twice, but there's no scratches on the follower, which would be indicating that a lot of rounds have been fired through it, or it's been loaded quite a few times, but I think it was just test fired. So the magazines look fresh. You have the back straps, the tool, the sight tool, the little punch to get the pin out for the back straps, and the brush, brand new, never used. It had the mag loader, of course, and the brush, all that. It still had the plates that come with it. Now, I know these aren't the greatest plates in the world, but in fact, I think you have to buy these separate. I don't know if these come with it. I don't know. Maybe they do. But it has the adapter plates, but unopened, brand new in the box. And so then I took a look here at the pistol, and I pulled the slide back. That barrel does not have a single mark on it. Like, this gun has not been fired. Like, somebody bought this gun and either regretted it, never fired it, I don't know. But this gun has not been fired. I mean, except maybe for that test round. Because it does not have the little smiley faces on it. This gun is literally brand spanking new. I mean, I'm just looking at it. It still has some of the factory grease in the slides. The slide rails, and even underneath, everything is super clean. I mean, this gun is brand new. And I got it for $250 less than the one they were asking for new. And it's literally brand new. So normally I like to buy new stuff, but this one was a deal that I couldn't pass up. For a Glock 40 MOS Gen 3 with all the stuff, brand spanking new, you guys can do the math. I was not upset with that at all. So it had to come home. So this, I think, I actually did pretty good on. That was something that, it's a gun that interests me. I'm probably only going to own one gun in 10 millimeter, so this is it. It's a big, hefty gun, long slide. That's a Glock right there, man. That is a piece of hardware. So 10 millimeter, and as you guys say, 10 millimeter is the best millimeter. So that was number 1. All right, so let's go to the other one, which I talked about yesterday. Now, I have never bought a gun in this shape before, but it's for a reason. So today, I also picked up the Sig M17 Surplus. So this is not one that is either the commercial edition or the commemorative edition. It's not the one that was the surplus that was never entered into U.S. inventory. This gun was fielded by the U.S. military. I'm going to assume the Army, because they're the ones that took the first order. And I believe, maybe some of you guys can help me, I believe there's a website or information where you can find which division of the Army received this particular pistol. But most likely, it's going to be like the 101st Airborne or the 82nd Airborne. I think they were the first guys to get them. So this is an M17. It does come with the certificate of authenticity from SIG. And it says 6 Hour Newington, New Hampshire certifies that this is an authentic U.S. Army issued firearm fielded during the initial domestic and in-theater deployment of the Modular Handgun System program. It was manufactured under contract with the U.S. Army to the original specifications, color, and configuration of the Modular Handgun System program, including the Coyote external controls, orange and green night sights, magazines, markings, components, and coatings. It also includes original exclusive government serial number. So this one was issued. This one was in U.S. inventory. So I don't know if it was, carried in combat. I don't know if it was just a test thing. I don't know if it was a training pistol. I have no idea. So, of course, they put it back in a box that would have been shipped to the U.S. military. Whoever owned this did not do the greatest job of keeping the box in good shape, but it does work. We get all the other stuff online that SIG has to give you. And this is mean. This is so mean. That's what SIG does. You guys know I'm in the market for one of those P320 M17 collector cases for my other M17s. I have one for the commemorative, but now I need 2 of them. They don't make them anymore. They're no longer listed on the website. But what do they include in this? Yeah, an advertisement so you can go buy it, jerks. You can't buy it. Ugh. But this thing was, I guess, released in, or this gun was made in 2019, I think it said, or it was released in 2019 on the civilian market. So this one probably was, and based off the serial number, it's sub 2000. So it's in that first initial run. And let me show you here in the case. So there it is right there. And here's the pistol. And comparatively, and I have looked online, the other ones that I have seen that were these releases from the military have been pretty banged up. They were pretty rough. And this one is actually in pretty darn good shape. I mean, I don't really see where the gun was dropped. There are some scratches on it, like up here around the dust cover, which I expect. On top, on the optics plate, there's some scratches over here, and some minor scratches on the slide. And I can see where this thing was laid down, maybe on a shooting bench or something, on the side of the controls, but not too bad. It does have the Coyote tan controls, as it said, but the military now uses the ones in black. They dropped this requirement, I guess, for cost and ease of manufacture. But the module, or the grip module, is a medium, which is the standard one. And it does have some dirt and stuff in it, which is what I would expect. But the stippling looks pretty darn good. It does have that government serial prefix. It's TF, and then 00, and then the serial number. So this is pretty darn cool. I just wish that I could track down where this one was in U.S. inventory. I would love to know, because there's some places that do make some stands for them where you can order special plaques that say, oh, this one was issued to the 101st Airborne or whatever. It does come with 3 magazines. They're supposed to be, some of them are supposed to be issued. So this one looks kind of new. The flush one. This one is new, but this one I think is the, oh yeah, this one is used. This one was a U.S. military magazine. So the base plate, a little bit rough. It's been dropped. It's scratched up. It's kind of cool. Normally I would never buy a firearm in this condition, but this one is just cool. So yeah, a real U.S. Army issued M17. And I know these are not the greatest guns in the world. The trigger here is kind of janky. Doesn't have the greatest trigger in the world, but it is what it is. So yeah, everything seems to be in functioning working order. These were supposed to have gone over by the gunsmiths at SIG when they got them back from the military. So the reason that they traded them in is, I believe it had to do with the controls, and that they were the first run of ones, and they wanted to do like testing on them. So I actually think in the long run this is going to be a historic collector's piece. It'd be like having one of the original test 1911s for the 1911. I know this isn't like a super collector right now, but I can see in 20, 25 years when the M17 is standardized. I mean, right now, the people that love 1911s, carried 1911s in the military, people that love the M9s, carried them in the military, like, oh, the M17. But in 20, 25 years, the guys and gals that are in the military now, this is the gun that they're going to know. And this is cool to have one of the original ones. So I really do think that this is going to be a collector's item. The only thing I wish the military would have done, which I know sometimes they do on their guns, is they put U.S. property. But this one does not have that, and I don't think any of them have it. That's just it. But it'd be cool if it had like a U.S. mark on it or something, but it doesn't have that. But yeah, this one was in U.S. inventory. So yeah, kind of interesting. So what do you guys think? Now I will say the prices on these have gone up. When these things were first released, I remember I passed on one. I was like, I'm not buying a used, torn up gun. They were like, I don't know, like $900 or $1,000 when they hit the market. And I paid more for that than this, but not as much as I've seen them on the big auction sites. So I think I got a fair deal on this one, but I think the prices on these are just going to go up and up, especially for military collectors. So anyway, there you go. What do you guys think? So the word of the day yesterday was good because I was a good boy. And today the word of the day is bad because I was a bad boy. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like either of these? Or was it a silly purchase? But it was just something I wanted, you know. So now I got to do my research on it. Hopefully I can figure out where this thing and who it got issued to originally. So and all the paperwork and all that, and man, I wish Sig would come out with those M17 cases again. If somebody that works for Sig and can do that, get those re-released, please do. So anyway, that is it on that of me being bad. So I'm probably gonna clean up this Glock and re-oil it anyway. So this is gonna be a fun one to shoot. So what else did I want to talk about today? I was thinking about talking about some politics. I know it's not necessarily relevant to anything that's going on right now in the world. Maybe it kind of is. One of the channels I like to watch and listen to is Washington Gun Law. And William Kirk over there will sometimes bring up very good points. And sometimes it's things that I've thought about myself. And he made a video recently talking about how some of these anti-gun lawyers kind of metaphorically shoot themselves in the foot because they use different arguments at different times that contradict each other. Like, for example, he was talking about how back when the Heller decision was being decided, the District of Columbia and all the anti-gun lawyers said they should be able to ban handguns because handguns are used in a majority of self-defense. Sorry, not self-defense, in a majority of like gang shootings, violent crimes, and so forth, and not rifles or shotguns. So therefore, they can ban this, but not ban rifles and shotguns because those are better suited for self-defense in the home. But now we have all these assault weapons ban cases, and they're saying the exact opposite argument. They're like, you don't need a shotgun or rifle to protect your home. You need a handgun. That's the best choice. And it reminds me of back in the 60s when they banned what they called Saturday night specials. You don't need a gun that's that small and chambered in .380 or .32 or .22. That's not good enough. You need a substantial handgun. And now they're like, we want to ban any gun that's chambered in .50 caliber. So if a gun's too big, it should be banned. If a gun's too small, it should be banned. If it's a handgun, it can be banned because rifles and shotguns are better. But they want to ban rifles and shotguns because handguns are better. There's no logic or reason to it. And this is one of the things that when I talk to people that are on the fence or anti-gunners, I'll ask them questions about those. You know, do you think that we can ban these because they're used in a majority of gang crimes? Oh yeah, that should be banned. And then what should you use in return? Oh, a rifle or shotgun. Okay, well then why do you want to ban rifles and shotguns? And then you say handguns are better for. It's all circumstantial. We all know what the end goal is. We all know what it is. It's banning guns. Everything. If a gun's too small, it should be banned. Gun's too big, it should be banned. If it's too powerful, it should be banned. If it's too weak, it should be banned. If it's a certain class of firearm, it should be banned. But the other classes should be banned too. It never ends. It never ends. And trust me, if they got everything they wanted, they'd be coming after your hunting rifle, calling them sniper rifles. It would never end. It's just like Coleon Noir made a video recently about knife crime in Great Britain, and now they have a term over there called zombie knives. Zombie knives. I guess that's like the assault knife over there. They call them zombie knives. Always trying to come up with names to make things sound scary. So anyway, that's just what was on my mind, and I was bad. I was a bad boy. So, once again, word of the day, the word that pays, as somebody says, bad. So tell me what you think in the comments section below about anything I talked about tonight, either of these guns, or how anti-gunners want to ban everything under the sun for any reason at any time, and their reasons change relatively quick. So thanks for spending time with me here in the garage as always. And as always, thanks for watching.